Hey, guess what? It helps to have your volume turned on and your microphone. Maybe I should not have gone live on YouTube because I have not figured out all the things. And guess what? That's a little bit about what I'm talking about today. So it actually just, you know, works out beautifully. So I can get my life figured out. Hello, I am Shanna. I am a Christian weight loss coach for women in midlife, and I talk all things weight loss, habits, habit forming, starting where you're at, um, all of the things that are going to help women to lose the mental weight and the physical weight that has been keeping them stuck. So today's topic is you get better at what you practice. I am just going to, let's see, I'm gonna go on YouTube on my phone and just see if this is even working because I don't even know. Let's be honest. Um, hmm, where am I even at? View channel. That should show. Okay, it says I'm live. There we go. Okay, here I am. Yes, I am live. Okay, so you get better at what you practice. I think that a lot of times we think that if we do something like one time, it should change our whole lives, right? If I go to the gym and lift some heavy weights and get sore, the next day I expect the scale to go down or the pants to fit better, whatever it is. But that's just not the case. It is what we practice, we get better at, and then we see the changes that are impacted by what we're practicing. So why does practicing matter and what is going to um, make the difference? So, again, literally, we get better at what we practice. Basketball players get better at making free throws by practicing making free throws consistently, by practicing shooting free throws, by practicing their form um, over and over and over again. Football players, quarterbacks get better at throwing a spiral by practicing throwing the football. Um, what anything you get better, anything that you do consistently, you get better at. So that can be a positive or a negative. We could be practicing things and getting better at things that we don't want to do. Anybody practicing doing things and getting better at things that they really don't want to be doing that are not serving them, not serving their higher purpose, not serving, helping them to become the person that they want to be, not serving in helping you to reach the goals that you want to reach. Um, so it goes both ways. It helps you get better at doing the things that you want to be doing and practicing doing the things that you don't want to be doing helps you to get better at those. So, what do you want to get better at doing? What do you want to change? What positive change do you want to make in your life? And what do you need to be practicing doing? I don't know, you maybe like I once was, and sometimes I find myself like I revert, people revert, I'm human. Um, have you ever had thoughts such as, why can't I ever do what I say I'm going to do? I know what I need to do. Why don't I just do it? Like, I know what it's going to take. I know what it takes to lose the weight, to get in shape, to keep a clean house, to save money, whatever it is. And I just can't do what I say I'm going to do. Why won't I just do it? And I have the answer for you. Maybe, and like honestly, the answer is because you're practicing giving in the moment of doing the thing. So you're giving into something else so that you're not doing the thing that you said you would do. And what does that look like? It could be, um, I said I wasn't going to have cake or I wasn't going to have dessert. We're going out for dinner and I said I wasn't going to have dessert tonight. But in the moment, I like everybody else is having dessert. So I'm just going to give in and I'm going to have it just this once. This one time won't hurt, just a little bit. I'll get back on track tomorrow. And doing that, and I'm not saying eating cake is wrong because it's not, but when you do it like that, when you had determined, I'm not going to have dessert, but they had this amazing dessert on the menu, and you give in, that's practicing doing the opposite of what you said you're going to do. And so, looking throughout your days, how many times might that be happening? And it could be um, your alarm clock. You set your alarm for an hour before you really have to get up to start getting ready because you want to start a morning routine, because you want to work out in the mornings before work, whatever that is, and you keep hitting snooze, you're practicing not doing what you said you would do. So every time you hit that snooze button, you're practicing giving in the moment. Um, so what's the solution to that? The solution is to practice doing what you say you will do. And also when you know that you're going to be practicing this, it also makes you think like, okay, if I'm going to keep this promise to myself, if I'm going to practice doing what I say I'm going to do, you're going to be more careful and more intentional about what you say you're going to do. Like you're going to set the intention more carefully about not having dessert at dinner that night. Maybe that means going to look at the menu and knowing all of the things that they're going to offer you before you make that decision. It's going to make you think a little bit harder about it. It might be telling whoever it is that you're going out to dinner with, hey, I'm not having dessert tonight. Okay. So you might be practicing bringing in accountability people with you. So practice following through, and you want to practice with the little things. What would be a little thing? Because what my brain goes to, because I might consider it a little thing where I'm at now, but back, 5, 6 years ago, it might not have been a little thing. I don't, I use my phone for my alarm. I keep looking at my phone. I use my phone for my alarm, but when I set my alarm, I turn off the snooze option. So for me, snooze isn't an option. I set the alarm for when I want to get up, and that's when I get up. And it took practicing smaller steps to get to that point. So it might be practicing, okay, I'm only going to hit snooze twice and I'm going to get better at getting up. So practicing the little things and getting better at doing those and following through with those are going to lead to following through on more and more things. I want to check out my notes to see. And then as you're practicing, Practice is not perfection. And you know what? Practice does not make perfect. Have you ever done anything perfectly? Like I don't know. Maybe you have. I don't think that I have. I think that even the things that I've done really well, I could have done better or they could be done better. So I don't, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. Practice makes better. And practicing it helps build consistency. And when you do something consistently over time, you see results, which creates momentum, and that is motivating. So practice makes you better, but I don't agree with the practice makes you perfect, which means that as you're practicing something, sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to turn off the alarm and not get up because you were practicing not having snooze available to you. So you might turn that alarm off and miss your workout that morning because you don't have time. And so you might, oh, I'm a failure. I'm never going to do it. Or you can just know, you can allow for and expect that there are going to be times that you fail. And that's okay because you're human. So, what do you make it mean when you have a failure like that? You can either identify as a failure, or you can say, oh, I missed that one. And then you can think back like, okay, what was it? Where was the disconnect? Where did I give in? Where did I not prepare enough ahead of time? And you can learn from that failure and you can take that learning with you for the next time and you can move on. You can be compassionate with yourself as a human being and just know that I'm going to fail. I'm going to mess up. And sometimes it's going to be a little thing, and sometimes it's going to be a big thing. And God has forgiven me. There's therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. So if you are a Christian, washed by the blood, Jesus is not condemning you for not getting up to move your body. So you need to stop condemning yourself and learn and move on. Um, let's see. Where am I at in my notes? I'm like all over the place. So I heard this amazing quote yesterday, and it just fit in perfectly because I knew that I was going to be doing a video. I planned on doing a video, not a live, just so you know. Um, I knew I was doing a video on practice, and somebody shared this quote, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. I have to use it. It's a Francis of Assisi quote. I don't even know who Francis of Assisi is, to be honest. I'm not that intellectual, but I've heard that name before, so I know. I don't know. Is it a man or a woman? I don't even know. A philosopher, maybe? I don't know. But Francis of Assisi said, start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. So, what you thought was impossible, just by doing what's necessary, practicing what's necessary, then doing what's possible and practicing what's possible, you realize, oh my word, I never thought I would be able to do this. I never thought that I would quit my job and be working from home in my own business. Never thought that was possible. And look at me now. That could be your story. So start by doing what's necessary. What are the necessary things that you think that need to be done in order to achieve the goal that you've set for yourself, or in order to embody, become the person that you want to be, the person that you want to be. It might be I have these beliefs, but I'm not really living in alignment with those beliefs. So I'm not really being the person I want to be. What is necessary for you to start doing to become that person? What is necessary for you to practice saying no to for you to become that person or for you to reach that goal? So start doing the necessary things. And those could be small things. Then as you're practicing doing the small things one at a time. I'm I'm all about start where you're at. You're not going to go from sitting on the couch eating cheeseburgers and pizza every day to running 3 miles a day, even one day a week. Let's be honest. So start where you're at. What can you start doing? What can you start practicing that is going to move the needle? Then once you're like, okay, I have this down. This is great. Then add in some things that are possible. I've been walking a few times a week and I feel really good about that. I feel like that's a good habit I'm in. Maybe I could, it's possible to add in some strength training once or twice a week. It's possible to do that. Or I could eliminate eating added sugars. I could do that. That would be possible. Not easy, but it's possible. I could increase my water intake. I could work on getting some better sleep. I could experiment with intermittent fasting. I could read one book a month. That's possible. I could do that. So pick something, you're doing what's necessary. You've been practicing that. What could I do that is going to supplement what I'm already doing? And whatever it is that it's that's such an individual thing. Those are just some ideas. And then once you're practicing doing what's necessary, you're practicing doing some things that are possible, eventually you're going to realize you're doing things you never imagined. Like you might be one day running a 5K. Maybe you have decided to take up sourdough making, which you never thought you would do. Maybe you're getting up at 5 a.m. every morning to go work out or teach a workout class even. Like things you wouldn't have thought that you were going to do. Maybe you find that you're writing a book or that you're a published author and never imagined that you could do that. And it started out by practicing those necessary things and adding some things in that were possible and practicing those things along the way. Um, I think that's good. I had some action steps. So basically, if you're starting from scratch, like, what do you want to do? Determine a goal. What is a goal that you want to achieve? Or who I like writing every once in a while. I'll do a writing prompt that I am a person who. And I love that prompt because it's just, I list out, I am a person who, whatever it is. So you could do that. Determine the goal, determine who you want to be, list out all of the things that you think it's going to take to do that. And that would be like, I am a person who, and like, what are all those things that you ideally do? And then pick one thing to practice. And I really like the idea of picking one thing that if I do this one thing, if I practice and get really good at this one thing, it's going to make doing these other things easier. So it could be with the workouts. I'm going to practice going for a walk twice a week. And when you get into that habit is going to make it easier to increase it to 3 times a week. It's going to also impact how much water you're drinking. You might feel like, oh, I'm walking, so drinking water, hydrating goes hand in hand with that. And then, wow, I'm working out, I'm moving my body more. I really want to eat better. And so picking something that is going to make the other things easier to do once you incorporate that is a really good practice. Um, so you pick that thing that you want to start practicing, and then decide, okay, where does this fit into my day or into my week? If it's something that you do every day, where is the most logical place for this to fit? And that is, there's a concept called habit stacking. And so if I want to start, um, what, like brushing my teeth every night, I would want to add that in. Okay, I get ready for bed. Before I climb into bed, I want to brush my teeth. So you find a place to stack that habit into things that you're already doing. And then you practice. You practice making a habit. And what do? You accept and you expect that you're not always going to do it perfectly because you're practicing. It's a practice. I'm getting better at it. Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth last night. I really want to remember to do that tonight. What could I do that might remind me? I might put a reminder on my phone. I might put a sticky note on my not window, my mirror in my bathroom. So what can I do that's going to make it um, more likely for me to do that thing? And then when you have practiced and you've gotten really good at it, add something else in. Then what's the next thing? What's the next thing I want to do? So, what have you been practicing? Are those things moving you in the direction that you want to go? And what do you want to start practicing? I would love, if you're here, if you're still listening, put it in the comments. I would love to see like this is something I want to start practicing doing, and this is when I'm going to do it. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for being here again. I'm Shanna. I own Shanna Pizer Coaching. I am a Christian life and weight loss coach for women in midlife. If you want to schedule a call to see how coaching can help you to reach your goals or to change the way you are showing up in your life, go to shannapizer.com and schedule a right fit call. And I would love to talk with you about it. Okay. Have an amazing day and go practice what you want to get better at. Practice what you want to get better at and stop practicing